So what if finding your purpose was less about logically figuring something out and more about following your unique, authentic path and the breadcrumbs along the way? How would that change things for you? Welcome to the Permission Slip podcast, where I, empowerment coach, mindset expert, and holistic nutritionist Carmen share with you the tools, conversations, and resources you need to write your own permission slip, take massive action, and become obsessed with your own life. Let's get started. Welcome back to the Permission Slip podcast. And this is a juicy quickie for you today. Do you like those terms? I think that they are pretty special. But what we're talking about today is something that I often get asked and something that we use as an obstacle to hold ourselves back from going for new dreams, from dreaming bigger, for going for bigger goals, for even taking action on the things that we know that we're hearing inside of us, that still small voice, that little nudge, the breadcrumbs, the synchronicities, the things that are in front of us. It holds us back. And that is the elusive question of, what is my purpose in life? Do you ever ask yourself that? I know that I sure did. And I am here to tell you that one radical mindset shift is going to change everything for you. And that's this. What if finding your purpose was less about logically figuring something out and more about following your unique path, following those breadcrumbs, listening to that still small voice and getting curious and taking action? I know that's what I did. And so today I've come to a place where I'm tapped into how I want to feel every day. So if you don't know how you want to feel every day, that's definitely a place to start. But how does it feel for me? It feels not rushed, peaceful, creative. I feel energized. I feel excited to wake up every single day. Even if I'm not headed out on vacation, even if it's not the weekend, even if it's not my birthday, even if something special isn't going on, it's just another beautiful, magical day. Maybe similar to the day that I had previous. Now, let me tell you a little bit on how to get there. This week I was working with some of my private clients, and before I do any session, I always sit and ask for guidance and kind of review what we've been talking about. And there's also an opportunity for me to do any research if I need to. But this week I really sat and was just getting still and looking for guidance. And so a few things came up as far as messages that were duplicates. And those two things I want to share with you so you can start figuring out your path. You can start walking your path versus saying, I don't know my purpose. So you just don't do anything and you just allow yourself to get stuck. So that's the commitment that we're making. When we're done with this podcast, we're going to take action towards one of those breadcrumbs, towards one of those little nudges, towards one of those little curiosities, that still small voice, and we're going to try something out. Even if we don't know the end result, even if we don't know exactly why, even if we're uncertain on how to do it. So the two messages that really came through this week was, one is self-honesty. So oftentimes we're not being honest with ourselves. We're allowing ourselves to ignore what's right in front of us, because the answer you're probably looking for is right in front of you. It's being presented to you, but maybe you're not present in the moment, or you see it and it's kind of scary, so you're ignoring it because you don't have all the answers. It's not perfect. You don't know how. You're uncertain, and uncertainty is scary. Guess what? Pushing into uncertainty brings growth. So you need radical self-honesty with yourself. You can no longer choose to use the excuse, I don't know what my purpose is, so I'm doing nothing. Now is the time. There is no time like the present. Nobody is promised tomorrow, so start today. Think about all the people you're doing a disservice to by not stepping forward and following your path. So self-honesty was the first theme. The second theme, and I love this and feel this so deeply, is an invitation for us all to enter in a deep, meaningful state of curiosity every single day. Deep, meaningful state of curiosity. What would that be like if every day you were curious versus trying to figure it out, trying to do it perfect, white knuckling, black or white, this or that, right or wrong, but just everything, you were just curious about it. So how do you do that? How do you get more curious? Well, first, let's just start with the definition of curiosity. And that's an eager desire to know or learn. But I want to take that a step further because curiosity to me is not just an eager desire. It's an eager desire that's action-packed as well. So there's something that you're actually doing towards that eager desire to know or learn. Curiosity is really the key to breakthrough and creativity. It opens all the fucking doors. 110%. So let me just give you an example of something that was really a fear-based thing for me that I held myself back for a long time. And many of you could probably relate to this because I think, I didn't look up this statistic, you could Google it, but I think that this fear might even sometimes beat out the fear of dying, is public speaking. I used to have a really strong aversion and fear to this, primarily because I held on to that. Who am I to be speaking out loud? Who am I to do this? Am I good enough? What if I fail? What if I say something wrong? Fear of being judged. You know, all the feelings, right? And then anxiety feeling and where your voice is kind of shaky and your palms sweat and you kind of are sweaty. And now I get paid to speak on stages. So how did I get there? I started getting curious about it. So when I first started my coaching business, I was a holistic nutritionist. That's how I got into the coaching business. If you know me, I am my passion and one of my hobbies is cooking and baking, really nutritious, delicious foods. And that's something that I love to do and I do on my free time. And I still hold my nutritionist credentials, but I don't just do nutrition coaching anymore. However, if you're lucky enough to be one of my private clients, I do incorporate that if that's something that you need into my coaching. And we also talk about it in Flow Academy. We actually have 4 weeks on thriving health, because let me tell you, if you are not taking care of yourself, your body is not going to be able to keep up with your calling on your life, AKA your purpose, AKA walking your path. You're just not going to be able to do it because you need to have thriving health to be able to reach those big dreams, those big goals, those big visions. So I digress here, but let's go back to curiosity. So what did I do? I started getting curious. So I thought, okay, before I knew this was actually how to make a good talk or a speech, is I'm just going to start talking about the things that I know like the back of my hand, the things that I'm so passionate about that I could talk about all day long. So tip, if you want to start public speaking, figure out what that is and design a talk about that. So I would start talking about nutrition and I would partner with local gyms and other places. And I would say, okay, can I hold this free nutrition talk and it'll be open to your members and then we'll invite the public. So hopefully you'll get some new members, right? Benefit for the gym, collaboration. If you're just starting your business, collaborations are the key. And if you're not just starting your business, collaborations are the key too. And so I would start doing nutrition talks and I was like, wow, these are these are really impactful. And so I'd get really good at it. And then the path started opening up for me, of which I could have ignored. I could have said no. I could have let those fear-based thoughts of not being good enough or who am I to do this hold me back. And I started being asked to speak at corporations like Workplace Wellness, Lunch and Learn, that sort of thing, and giving talks around nutrition there. Those were breadcrumbs that were left for me. And I took them. And because I started doing this free speaking and then paid speaking, and then moving up from there, I started gaining confidence. Remember, curiosity is the key to breakthrough and creativity. And then I started getting curious about what if I could talk about other things that were actually really meaningful as well. And my speaking business grew from there. So what if I didn't follow those breadcrumbs? Well, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So that is a really, really like tactical example. Like I was scared. Like it was scary for me. I would way over prepare. I would have like exactly what I wanted to say written out. And now, of course, when I give a talk, I have an outline and I just really allow it to flow through me. Sometimes it changes like the day of, depending on like the guidance that I receive. And there is so much flow because I'm actually in alignment with my own authentic truth in that area of my life. And that's really one of the keys. So as you think about the different areas of your life, I want you to think about if you're in alignment with them. How do you know if you're in alignment? Well, go back to how you want to feel every day. So like I shared, like how it feels to me and how I want to feel every day is not rushed, peaceful, creative, energized. I want to feel that every single day. And I want to make sure that in each area of my life that I am in alignment with that, because you're not going to be able to get to the next level without being in alignment. So if you have a pen and paper, some of those areas of life, how I like to kind of break it down is I'll just give you a list really quick and then you can rewind this if you need to, but health, finances, you can also add legacy to that, relationships, career or business, personal growth, your significant other, your free time and hobbies. What do you got there? I know for a long time I had zilch. Spiritual relationship, physical environment, and then making a difference and giving back. So are you in alignment with how you want to feel and your most authentic truth and your deepest priorities and how you want to be showing up in each and every one of those areas? And here's the thing. Base it on the season of life that you're in. You're not going to be a fucking 10 out of 10 every single aspect of your life all the time, 100% aligned. But right now, based on your deepest priorities for this year and your goals, which aspects of life do you really want to focus on being in alignment with? And how can you start getting curious on how you can start coming into alignment? So let me give you 5 ways that can really help you get curious, this invitation for deep, meaningful curiosity in your life so you can be in alignment, so we can no longer have to chase purpose and simply just follow our path. Because that's what it's about. And it's not about becoming something that you're not. It's about unbecoming the person that you've built based on societal standards, all the shoulds, who other people think you are, you need to be, what your parents tell you, how you're comparing yourself to others on social media, and letting go of all of that shit and coming back home to what's already inside of you. And that's where the flow, that's where the alignment happens. And when you're in that space, that's when synchronicities, magic, miracles, blessings happen every single day. Okay, so how do you get this eager desire to want to know and learn more about different aspects of your life based on this season of your life right now, to get curious, to uncover that path and start following your own fucking breadcrumbs? Because let me tell you, it feels so damn good. And when you do that, you can like quadruple, 10 times, 100x the impact that you can make in the world. The first one is asking more questions. And not asking a question and then being ready to answer with an answer, asking a question and listening. Getting more diverse perspectives from other people. Because A Course in Miracles defines a miracle as a shift in our perception. Because oftentimes we just need to come back and return to a place of love because we've detoured into our ego self. So ask more questions and actually listen. The second thing, this was hard for me. And I want to hear from you. Shoot me a DM on Instagram if this is hard for you too. Admit you don't know something. Guess what? You don't have to know it all. When I let go of the fact that I don't have to know it all, and I have amazing support system and resources. And if I don't have a resource, one of my resources or support system in my network has a resource. So it's okay if I don't know something. In fact, it's even better if I don't know everything, because then I know more about what I know, about my opportunity to serve, about teaching, about leadership, about life coaching, about building a fucking life that you absolutely love and letting go of all the rest. Because for a long time, I would act like I would know, and then I would go and try and figure it out. That is fucking exhausting. Now, if someone's talking about something that I don't know, I'll just say, oh, that's interesting. I don't know a lot about that. Tell me more. Boom. Number 1 and 2, right in the same fucking sentence. Ask questions, listen, get different perspective, and admit you don't know something. Let the other people be the expert in that area. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't learn something if you're interested. If your breadcrumbs are following you down a path that you need to learn something new, that's okay. But you don't have to know absolutely everything. The next thing is see where your interests take you. So if you've been following me for some time, you may or may not know, but back when Joel and I lived in Oregon, I started from the ground up with a business partner, a healthy, ready-to-eat food company, because it was so on my heart. We lived in a smaller town and there just wasn't a lot of good, nutritious food options. And so our food company was dairy-free, gluten-free, soy-free, refined sugar-free. We made everything in-house. We took all of my clients' favorite recipes from my nutrition practice and we put them on the menu. And, we were making money in like the first couple of months. And then my business partner decided she wanted to leave. And instead of returning to a place of love, my ego self kicked in and was like, okay, I could do this all by myself. And it got me to a state of burnout with something that I was so passionate about. So it took me a really long time to even want to get back to cook at all or make new recipes or have fun with food again. And now I'm to this place where I keep having these visions of having these like luxurious like dinner parties where people are dressed up and curating a menu that's so delicious and nutritious and curating the people and the conversations. And so they're so expansive and up-leveled. And I don't know where I'm going with that, but I'm really like getting curious about what that means. And maybe that's part of the couples expansion experience that Joel and I are doing May of 2023 in the show notes. If you're interested in that, we're only going to be taking 5 couples. But if you're ready to actually grow with your significant other and get on the same page and have the most amazing, deep, meaningful connection that you've ever had and be expanded individually and together and with other amazing couples, then you need to be in this. But so that's like a breadcrumb that I'm following right now. So see where your interests take you. Number 4 is start actively learning from others, even when your ego says that you already know. One of the biggest things that hold us back from growth is that our brain says, our ego self says, I already know, I've heard this before, I already know this, and we turn off our brain. But guess what? like 95% of the time, we know, but we're not fully implementing and integrating it into our life. So it's not doing us any good. So start actively learning from others and put your ego aside. The last thing is diversify your interests. Try new things. They don't have to be big. They don't have to be huge. This year, I got back to like reading novels. And so again, following the breadcrumbs, I grew up like when I was a kid, like in grade school, I remember I'd be reading like 3 books at a time, and I loved fiction books. And I just got so far away from that as I got older. I would always be reading something for education, on like coaching, on leadership, on health, on something like that, and spirituality. And so I started reading fiction books again. And in following those breadcrumbs, what it's done for me is it is rekindling this idea and this nudge that I've had for a number of years now about writing a book. And so I'm continuing to follow those breadcrumbs. I don't have to know when, how I'm going to do it, how I'm going to publish it, what the name is going to be, but just like keep reading and start writing. Interesting how that works, right? This does not happen by accident. You have to be an active participant, an active designer in your life. And success shouldn't look a certain way. It should feel a certain way. And when you stay in alignment with how it feels and how you want to feel, based on this season of your life and what you desire in your deepest priorities, you're so much more at peace. And like I shared, creative, energized, not rushed, in flow. And that's when things start really flowing to you. Opportunities, abundance, joy. So stay curious. So lastly, I just want to share with you this quote from F. Scott Fitzgerald, and I want to hear from you. So what is one takeaway that you have from this podcast? Post it on your IG stories and tag me, and I'm going to pick somebody. I'm going to be sending out a super fun prize over the next couple of weeks. So tag me with your takeaways at Carmen Oling. So here's the quote. For what it's worth, it's never too late, or in my case, too early, to be whoever you want to be. There's no time limit. Start whenever you want. You can change or you can stay the same. There are no rules to this thing. We can make the best of it or the worst of it. I hope you see things that startle you. I hope you feel things you've never felt before. I hope you meet people who have a different point of view. I hope you live a life you're proud of. And if you're not, I hope you have the courage to start over again. All right, friends. That's it for this week. Sending you so much high vibes and love and light as always.